Yo, great evening, man. Family, ladies and gentlemen of this beautiful world. Great day. Great day. Godly beings, physical manifestation of the Almighty. This is your dream. This is your heaven or your hell, depending on which aspect of self you're being ruled by. Hope you all have been having a great day. Y'all see this hair is only gonna get nappier. This hair is only gonna get nappier. I'm done cutting it. I'm done cutting it for the next 8 years. I ain't cutting my hair or doing anything crazy with my hair till I turn like 40. Let me just let this baby grow. Play with it, different things. But yeah, it's about to go back to the wolf. It's about to get nappy again. But yeah, it's been a great day, man. Wasn't able to do the class with my nephews and my nephew and niece today on the Zoom call. I kind of had it all set up for them too. I was gonna make them work in with me today, because my little niece yesterday ended up asking me as I was coaching them through the workout. She's like, "Sosa, why you not working out with us?" I'm like, "Cause I already did mine. What you talking about? I already did my work before I came and trained you guys, so that way I can have something to fall back on." So I was gonna have them do it with me today. I was gonna have them do the same workout that I did, but sadly my nephew was still in school by 4 p.m. so he wasn't home yet. So it happens. We still got the rest of the week, right? So was actually supposed to do only 800 reps, ended up doing like 1050, so 1,050 reps. Went an extra few, maybe even did more, and I just lost count. But yeah, man, listen, you either get paid for the decisions you make. You either get, what was this quote that says, you either get paid for decisions you made years ago, or you pay for decisions you made years ago. The choice is yours. That's powerful right there. You either get paid for decisions you made years ago, or you pay for decisions you made years ago. And that's like that saying. It's like, you can try and fail, or not try and still fail, right? But in not trying, you never figured out if you would have actually succeeded or not. So you're left with that that very resentful emotion that we call regret, right? When you don't try at anything in life, the only thing that you end up dying filled with is regret. And that's why it is so important for us to take the liberty of choice that we have, and to use it to the best of our advantages, right? A lot of these elitists, they promote this thought process of do as thy will. Do thy will. That is the thought that that mainstream music, that mainstream medium promotes, and that a lot of individuals that follow, like Rock Nation, i.e. Jay-Z, they will see him wearing clothing that says "Do thy will," and that is not. And that is where when you see those kind of sayings like that, like just do what you feel like doing, do what you like, do what you want, do your will, do whatever you want, do your will. That is what the conscious community, or individuals that are aware of esoteric and cultic practices, will call Luciferianism, right? Lucifer did whatever he wanted, right? He thought himself equal to God, and so he made his challenge to the Almighty. He brought his full force, and God was like, "Bro, you want war? Let's go to war." And he unleashed the legions of archangels, of cherubims, and all those higher beings, upon that, that disobedient, egotistical, narcissist, prideful individual that today we know as Lucifer, and send this little, behind back into the pits of hell, the body of man, to live out his experience in this prison that we today call the human body. You know what I'm saying? This can be seen, and I always go on these rants, this can be seen as the temple of God, you know what I'm saying, the temple of the Almighty, or the prison of the devil. And as as I was reading today, as I was reading Marcus Garvey, he was like, we were made in the image of the divine, but it wasn't the body, it was the mind. You get what I'm saying? The mind is what is divine. The mind is the only thing that separates us from animals. This is one thing that we got to understand. This is why out of the 7 Hermetic principle, the first Hermetic principle, i.e. the first Hermetic axiom, the first principle, the first law that cannot be broken, that is truth even in science, is that the all is mind. Everything is consciousness. Every intelligence on this planet receives consciousness from the infinite source of consciousness, from consciousness itself, right? And so the body is but a mechanism. Is but like is a mechanism, the human brain being like an antenna that transmutes the information into something that can be, translated into something that is understandable, comprehensible, and communicable, right? That can be shared with the masses. So the only thing that is the image of God is our mind, not our body, because every other being on this planet has a body, but only we have mind. Only we can think and put our thoughts into, into books, into historical artifacts or things that can be stored and shared and continue to be shared over many millenniums. But it's up to you. You're gonna do your will. You're gonna do what you want. You're gonna do what you feel like doing, or you're gonna take charge of your will, and you're gonna induce your will to work for you rather than you being a slave to it. Rather than being a slave to your body, become a master of your body and a master of your mind. You get what I'm saying? Put both in their respective place, and show your level of respect for the Almighty by doing what is right, what is necessary, what is a must in your life for you to cultivate, that lifestyle that you want. And one of those ways that I've discovered, thanks be the Almighty and thanks be to me for having started working out at 14, is physical fitness. If we were to lose all material possessions in this life, an electrical magnetic pulse, a EMP, a global or national EMP that was to destroy all technology, only those individuals that are physically able, physically capable, and in good physical and healthy position would survive for longer than expected, as opposed to all these individuals that are out of shape, that are obese, that are unhealthy, that don't follow a nutritional regimen. They'd be fucked. They'd be done for. They would die within hours, if not within the first week of all hell breaking loose. They'd be fucked. Why? Because they don't respect their body. The level of respect that you show your body consciously, and not just in the way that you work out, but also in the way that you eat and the way that you carry yourself, goes a long way to show your level of respect for the Almighty that lives within the body. Like, this is the only vehicle that you're ever going to get on this experience of life for each individual one of us, right? So the greatest level of sign of respect is how you treat the body physically and through what you consume. Then goes the mind, how you treat the mind, the thoughts that you allow yourself to think. But obviously before even the body, the mindset comes first. So, start changing your mindset. Start, invoking a more positive, hopeful way of thinking that propels you forward. You know, if you are overweight, if you feel stupid, you know, believe in the possibility and the capacity for you to become an individual that can have the body that you desire and that can develop the consciousness that you envision as, you know, something that you admire, right? And you might find other individuals out here in society that have that kind of mindset and that kind of body that you admire and that, you know, really inspires you to kind of like try those kind of things. Don't rely so much on motivation ever. Like I said, motivation is a feeling that eventually subsides. Seek to build wisdom, and that's where, you know, not doing what you feel like doing, but doing what you need to do and what is required of you is going to be key. I saw this post and I shared it, right? And it was like increased physical activity increases self-esteem. Increased self-esteem increases confidence. And increased confidence increases attraction. A lot of the things that we do as men is to attract, and we got to be honest, is to attract the opposite sex. Like, if it wasn't for the opposite sex, we'd be fine just fucking living in a cave and never leaving. You get what I'm saying? But we have that, you know. We get to, you know, become our best so that we can attract the best, so that we can have the best that we can possibly come up with in our life. And a lot of individuals that are feeling depressed, hopeless, and purposeless in their life is because they're not doing a lot of the above, right? They're not treating their body with respect. They're not developing their mind. They're not challenging themselves mentally, physically, emotionally, or spiritually. And so they remain in a depressed state, a state where, you know, you feel hopeless, you feel bored, but it's only because you're not doing anything to challenge yourself, to make you feel, to help you feel any other way. You're lying to yourself. Just like a lot of individuals tend to lie to these women to get what they want, and instead they don't get what they want. They only get what they think they want, which is the sex. You know what I'm saying? And they never get to retain none of these women. I wrote this one. It was like lying to women is like lying to God, right? And what I meant to say with that is, like, you know, when you want something from a woman, the way that I see it, is just tell them what the fuck you want up front, man. If you like the woman, let her know. And also, don't hide who you are. Like, that's me personally. That's how I am. Don't hide who you are. Don't try to be something that you're not. You know what I'm saying? If you're an individual that can see yourself with only one woman, okay. But if you're not an individual that is for one woman and that you never want to have, like, you know, a monogamous relationship, and you believe in something, you know, more open, then address that as well. You know, it doesn't have to be on the first date, but throughout the build up, say what you want. Just like with the universe, just like with God, you can't be lukewarm. You have to declare what the fuck it is that you want. You know what I'm saying? Whether you speak it or you write it down or you hold it in your heart, you know, as it relates to your life, to God, you know, the universe, the cosmos, you have to be fucking honest. You can't be lukewarm. You can't be second guessing what it is that you want. You have to commit to it. You know what I'm saying? You have to speak it into existence, as many people say. You have to manifest it. But in order to manifest, you have to speak it into existence by acting as though you already have it. How? By going about and taking the actions necessary to become that individual that will have those things long before you even have it. You know what I'm saying? Jim Rohn says you can give a person $1 million, but that person best become a millionaire quick. Why? Because it's not the money that makes you rich, it's the mindset. There are many individuals that they become rich way long before the money gets there, but they become so rich in their mind because it's the mind that attracts everything. The all is mental, the all is mind. It all begins in the mind. The body that you want, the intellectual capacity that you want, the spirit that you want, the consciousness, the emotions that you want to be able to express and to be able to manage into having the controls, the visions, the purpose, the things that you want to create, the innovations that you want to bring into light, the political beliefs that you want, the ideals that you want to put forth into society. It all starts in the mind. Everything starts in the imagination. The big I am, it all starts there. The imagination, right? So it is with the woman. Like, you can't expect the woman to give you what you want if she doesn't know what the fuck it is that you want. You get what I'm saying? You might only be a lot of individuals, they just lead women on and never fully, open up to a woman in a reasonable and logical manner. They're always in their freaking feeling like a female. And that's because a lot of the men that a lot of men, when they don't grow up with, proper masculine guidance in their life, most are being raised by single mothers. I myself was one. I'm an example of many of these things that I'm talking about right now. So I've learned from my own mistakes. And it's like, it's, we're so emotional, yet we don't know how to express our emotions in a, reasonable and intelligent manner. We lack the emotional awareness. So we lose our temper over the smallest thing or whatever, over bullshit. But then when it comes to truly expressing how we feel about certain things that we should be, nipping in the bud as soon as something happens that we're not in agreement with and that we don't feel comfortable with, we don't say nothing about it. We just hold it in, and that's when you get individuals that then blow up about things, right? They're in a relationship that they didn't want to get into. You know what I'm saying? They're having kids. They're like so many different things. They're going places that they didn't want to go, but because they didn't want to make somebody feel uncomfortable, they didn't say anything about it. So they just kept their mouth shut. And it's like, nah, man, tell a woman what you want. Just like you have to tell God what the fuck you want. You know what I'm saying? And then you have to behave in that manner. You can't change, you know what I'm saying, into something that you are not, just to simply satisfy somebody else. A woman can make suggestions, but you take things into consideration. And if they don't fucking make sense, you don't make emotionally based decisions. Never. As a man, you never make emotionally based decisions. Every decision that a man ever makes in his life, if made through emotion, through the emotional lens, it's always going to be a jacked up choice. You know what I'm saying? And the repercussions of those decisions are going to reflect it in his life, in the way that he's that he presents himself, and his attitude and everything. But if you make decisions based on logic and reason and common sense, you look at the data and it makes sense, like, yo, listen, doing this does not make sense, doing that definitely will work out, then that's what you got to do, man. If you don't tell a woman what you honestly want, i.e. what your intentions are, you'll never get what you want. The same is with God. You know what I'm saying? We have to stop being lukewarm. We have to learn how to express ourselves and our desires. Because if we don't, then we're never going to get what we truly want. Because we're also going to be lying to ourselves. We're going to be shooting ourselves in the foot. I heard this today as I was listening to some Muslim guy on Instagram. I saw a post and I was like, let me listen to this. And he was like, being a man is a decision. And that's true. You are, as my guy, Dr. Miles Monroe say, you are born a male, you are born female, but you must become a man, you must become a woman. You know what I'm saying? We have to decide. We have to choose to become men by committing ourselves and sacrificing to become something other than everything else that isn't one. A real man has qualities that is not found in less than men, in effeminate men or effeminate males, and all this debauchery that we're seeing in our society. You know what I'm saying? With all these labels that individuals are putting us on themselves. Like a lot of dudes don't even know what it is like to be a man. You know what I'm saying? That like, and I get it. You know, there's a lot of confusion with all the programming. You know, the toxins in our food that disrupt our hormones and are causing a lot of men to produce, you know, an overabundance of feminine female hormones, and reducing the amount of masculine male hormones that the body produces. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff that is jacking up the endocrine system, from the potato chips to the water to the food like products. You know what I'm saying? To the content that is pushed through the television, from the content that's sprayed in the air. You know what I'm saying? Everything. You know, is a whole biological, spiritual, mental. You know what I'm saying? Like, is a chemical war at every level, and you have to listen. It's not simple. It's not easy. I don't even know how to put it, man. But you have to really want something better, and you have to want it at the expense of all the other BS that is not in alignment with the individual that is worthy of receiving the gifts, the desires, the visions that you want. To have a happy and joyful life as a man, you must be willing to sacrifice by committing to a code of honor and ethics and moral principles, and keeping to those things, you know, that you hold dear with integrity for the long run. Because the vision that you have of the lifestyle that you desire is more important than any immediate gratification. And bringing balance within yourself in body, mind, and soul. Understanding yourself emotionally without the need to complain or feel pity or express pity for yourself before anyone. And living your life on purpose, with a purpose, for a purpose, so that your death, so that your afterlife, you know, the life that you live may have a meaning. It is going to take a lot of work. Physically wise, health wise, you know, in every aspect, in those, especially in those 5 main basic ones that I listed before, right? You must understand your mind, and you must understand that you are a male having or a man having a male experience, whichever, and that in your body is a masculine energy and a feminine energy, right? These 2 polarities, the negative and the positive, the good and the bad, the creative and the logic, the imaginative and the reasonable, the objective and the subjective. You know, and you have to learn to balance these things by knowing thyself. Only knowledge of self can ever set you free from the prison of your own mind. Fearing no man, and respecting, loving, and upholding the Most High God at every moment of time, because that is in the image of which your mind is made. Your mind is godly. You know, God never made any fool. God is all wise and all knowing, omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. It made no useless person, but society will make a lot of people feel as though they are useless, and as though they will never be able to achieve anything in life. So that's why you have to seek out the knowledge. You have to seek out the experiences that may give you a glimpse of the wisdom that is necessary for you to make some good decisions in your life. Wisdom is the principal thing. She was at the beginning, before all of this was created, and she will always remain. Jim Rohn was like, wisdom is the one thing that a wise man always feels he is in need of. Like, You know what I'm saying? And the fool always feels like he already has the answer. So if you're feeling like you already have the answers, you better humble yourself. So if not, life is gonna humble you. Nah, what math kicks my fucking ass. It's always kicked my ass. But yeah, it's a great day. It's a great fucking day. Remember, you was born a male, but you must choose to become a man. It's the same thing for you ladies. You was born female, you have a vagina, but you must choose to become a woman. Competing with men is only gonna leave you fucking feeling miserable. That's why so many women today are so miserable. Because they're out here competing with men rather than competing for the man. Right? They're so hell-bent on doing what men can do that they forget that they were born to do what man can't do. Like, stay in your lane, yo. Yeah, I think I still have that sniper school book, bro. I ain't throw a lot of my stuff away when I left the Marine Corps. I'm one of those hoarders. I don't throw a lot of things away. I have started throwing things away, but I think I still have a few military stuff. I got like 2 bags full of that shit. I think if I would have went to sniper school, I would have failed because of the math. Unless I would have just winged it and figured it out like I always winged everything. Whatever I didn't understand in the military, I just winged it. I was like, fuck it, let's go. I don't fucking know. But, yeah. It's been a productive day. It's been a productive week thus far. Yeah, yo, we could listen. We can do it. It's just a woman ain't supposed to be competing with a man, and a man sure as fuck ain't supposed to be competing with no woman. But society has so designed it, with all these isms and theories that it's got everybody competing. It's got women competing against men. It's got everybody feeling all sensitive as it relates to racial things. Like it's a competition in a division. It's got nothing to do with what they can do. I'm talking about the competition, bro. It's an unnecessary competition. A woman can have sex with every fucking man she wants. Just like a man can have sex with as many women as he wants. However, the impact of both of those things is gonna be different. On one, it's gonna cause a lot of psychological to the majority. 99% of women that have sex with a shit ton of fucking sexual partner, they're gonna end up developing emotional and psychological fucking issues. Men don't. The more sex a man has with the more women, the more he grows in confidence. Is because each sex has been biologically designed by nature for different things. One was designed to bear a seed, or to hold a seed in her womb for 9 months at a time, meaning only giving birth once per year minimum, right? While the other one was so designed by nature to spread a seed far and wide if he was of the genetic makeup that, allowed him for that capacity. Yeah, we can't try to do everything that the other sex does. It's fucking retarded. I just said that word. I be so whatever. Like, yo, this whole like speech is crazy nowadays with all these what is the word? You know, what is the word? I don't even know if I know it because I don't be on that political stuff. But with all these mainstream, with these social media, with all this technocratic order that we got going on, regulating speech through these mediums of communication, is jacked up. Because now I'd be like, sometimes I say some words and I'm like, I don't even know if I said it in the right context, or if, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, bro, it should be having me like on edge sometimes. That's what I was thinking today as I was listening to another podcast. I was like, yo, maybe I'm gonna start looking at current events, because I don't read nothing about current events. Like, once I stopped watching the news 5-6 years ago, I just stopped following current events. I just let whatever I see on Instagram or YouTube. I'm like, okay, so that's that's the new story. I see people going wild talking about what I just saw something about Biden about to approve crack pipes. I'm like, yo, this guy is the guy that came up with the whole fucking crime bill that Hillary Clinton read, and that was calling, you know, young African Americans or young people of color the violent predators that needed to be put behind bars. So like, this dude came up with the crime bill that jacked up everybody. Yeah, you know, like I said retarded. Now I'm about to be canceled like Joe Rogan. Like, even that is crazy. Like, yo, I got Joe Rogan, man. Listen, and I love it because so many people are supporting Joe Rogan, like, from all corners of everywhere. Like, everybody's just coming out, like, in support, and I like that because, like, it's all bullshit, man. Like, there's people out here doing way worse things, that have done way worse things and continue to do way worse things, and Joe Rogan hasn't even done anything wrong. All he did was he brought some insight from actual professionals, and the mainstream is like, you know, all panties in the bunch, because the pharmaceutical giants don't like what he was don't like that the individuals that he had on the podcast were talking shit that made sense, that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't discredit, you can't disprove it, because it is truth. Everything those individuals that he brought on were saying is 100% factual. And that's the problem. The pharmaceutical industries that control the politicians and the mainstream mediums don't like that. Like, the pharmaceutical industry is probably the most powerful lobbying groups in the world at this moment today. Like, they're more powerful than the what is it that Hoover, was it Hoover that called it the military industrial complex? Because even in the military industrial complex, you know what I'm saying, they have their paws in there. The whole military is polluted with the fucking vaccine. Oh, god damn it, I've been saying that freaking word, man. Now I think this video might get fucking flagged. So I've been saying that freaking word with the V. Yeah, man, and now I'm over here. I just said that word. I don't even know how many times I said that shit, but yo, listen. People need to wake the fuck up. This is why I stopped making videos for so long. Because I had an IG account deleted at almost 5,000 followers like 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just so much stuff in there. And I've already had like 1 or 2 videos deleted off of IG. I mean, off of YouTube. For like just, you know, making sense. So I'm like, yo, this is why sometimes I don't be making a lot of video content. I've been very careful over the last 30 days, since the last 30 plus days since I started making video on a consecutive basis. But it's like, you know, that's why I like sticking to the personal development talk, and I don't like diving into the rabbit hole or talking about politics. Because, listen, everything is jacked up, bro. This is why I encourage personal development so greatly, because that's what the system doesn't want. It doesn't want men becoming men. It wants to keep males effeminate, weak, stupid, gullible, feeling defeated. You know what I'm saying? Not understanding their spiritual rights. You know what I'm saying? Their rights as a conscious sovereign being having a human experience. You know what I'm saying? And their capacity to create reality with their mind. That they don't have to obey, any man-made authority. You know what I'm saying? Like, government is not government without people is nothing. Right? So like, government was put forth by people for the service of the people. But today we're living in a society that, it got these young dummies believing that, government has authority. Like, no, government gains its authority from the people, and without the approval and support of the people, then government is nothing. And the only reason that this is possible is because people don't understand that they have a sovereign right as a human being, that they cannot be trampled upon by anybody. You can't be forced to do something that you do not want to do, that is not right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just be inducing people, coercing, manipulating, and forcing people to, take things into their body that, they don't even know the full consequences and repercussions of. But yet you're inducing, you're coercing, you're manipulating, and indirectly forcing people to take things that don't benefit them. It's not scientifically proven. It's been deduced that it's actually causing more problems than it is supposed to fix. And it has been rushed into the market for profit, for greedy reasons. And not even the people making these things are taking them. We're living in a feels before real society. That's the truth, man. We're living in a society that's making decisions based on feelings rather than reason, logic, fact, and truth. Like, and anybody that ever tries to argue with me based on feelings, they're gonna be left feeling like shit, because I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. What is the emotional damage? That's what the fuck motherfuckers are gonna be left dealing with me, because I'm not backing off. Hell no. I was at the gym one day, and this chick that makes fucking strap-ons and BDSM leather shit got upset because I said there's an overabundance of male but very few men. And I said the hardest thing in the world is to be a man. And she was like, no, it's not. Da 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 da. I'm like, yo, listen, what you're talking about is male. You're not talking about men. Real men don't do what you're saying. Don't try to tell me anything. No, a woman can't do everything a man can do to the capacity that a man can do it. It's a fact. That's why all the standards in military, in firefighting, and in every area where women have been allowed to enter the workforce alongside with men has been reduced to meet the standards to which they can function to, because we do not function in the same way. We are not the same. We are equal as humans, but not equal biologically. You know what I'm saying? We are equal to the same rights as a conscious human being having a human experience, but we are not equal in the capacity to the things that we do. I can freaking create life and push it out through your vagina. We can't do that shit. We just hold it in our testicles until we find somewhere to dump it or place it in so that it can grow. And, you know, people like, you know, hopefully this video finds somebody and it's just like, you know, ticks them the fuck off, because it's the truth, you know? Like when we was in the Marine Corps and we had those that female engagement team in Afghanistan, yo, all them women were having freaking ovary issues because they was walking around with 45 and 50 pound weights on their back, 60 pounds of equipment, walking for hours on end with us, and they couldn't last. They couldn't stand it. You know what I'm saying? They would start having, you know, biological problems that had to do with their feminine parts. Why? Because the female body is not designed to endure the same stresses as the man's body is for as long. Y'all only pregnant for 9 months. We're fucking men our entire life. Our entire fucking life we're men. Like you can't, and even if you cut your dick off and you get all these hormone things, you're still a man. That's why you go and kill yourself after you do all these things, because you're still unhappy with yourself. A man has to learn how to put the feminine in its place. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the problems that is going on today, and that men have always had. You know, a lot of men have had, you know, problems in understanding their sexuality as a man. And now we have all this homosexualization and feminization of the male society, that it's even caused even greater confusion. But as a man, we have to learn how to put the feminine in its place and embrace the masculine, because we are males. We are born male. You know what I'm saying? We are born male, but we must choose to become a man. And if a man does not choose to become a man, the life that is ahead for that individual is a very miserable, depressed, bored, and unhappy life, because he is not appreciating the fact that he is a man, that he has been born a male. He does not have gratitude for the body that he has been born into. And lack of gratitude is what produces an ungrateful and dissatisfied attitude. Yeah, happiness is rare. And self-happiness is even more rare. Why? Because a lot of individuals, they go through their life and they only say thank you when somebody gives them what they want. They don't say thank you to God. They don't say thank you to life, to the universe, at every moment of every time that they have the fucking fortune of breathing, which is a fortune in itself. But though you are born a male, you must choose to become a man if you truly want to live a life of purpose, meaning, you know what I'm saying, and joy and happiness. Because if you do not become a man, and you just remain a simple male, a simpleton, a beta, an omega, or something less than a man but not a man, then you're gonna have a bad ending. You're gonna kill yourself like 60 to 70, 80% of other men do. Why? Because it's not easy being a man. It's very easy to do the wrong shit. You know what I'm saying? It's very easy to just do whatever the fuck you feel like doing. It's very easy to do whatever you want to do in life. It's very easy to do your will, but it is very, very hard to master thyself and to induce your will to work for you. It's very easy to make the easy choice. It takes a little bit more willpower to make the right choice. That's why most of us men, we just go into our phones or turn on the computer and go watch porn, instead of sitting down, pulling out a notebook and journaling, writing our thoughts, writing our visions, writing our desires, writing some goals, writing what we think will bring our life a sense of purpose and meaning. It's easier to jerk off that imaginative desire, that creative, because that's all semen is. Semen is it's like pure power. It's like, it is the source of creation. You know what I'm saying? Without our semen, you can't make life. We hold the seed of life. We have been, women have been given, the power to the portal of life, but we've been giving, guardianship to protect the seed of life. We hold that cup. We hold the messages that the God has for life. You know what I'm saying? That message being the children that we can produce through the women that allow us the opportunity to be the vessels to hold the life that we hold, to hold the messages that we hold for life. You've always been very creative. You know what I'm saying? And that saves a lot of men. Like, if you have a very creative mindset, you won't fall into the trap of watching porn, because your creativity, it distracts you. It keeps you occupied with something productive. But for us men that don't have any that came up not really having a lot of fucking creativity, bro, that shit is not simple. You know what I'm saying? Especially when, whatever capacity you have is not something that is, that occupies these. Right? So with me, the only thing that occupied these hands was working out. And if I wasn't working out, I was beating off. Like, that's 5 years in the Marine Corps right there for me. Right? Either working out or beating off, or watching something to entertain my mind. Like, I wasted so much time. Like, I wish I would have known about, finances and investing and the value of investing, and, but hey, you live and you learn. You live and you learn, and, now I know how to occupy my creativity a little better. I didn't like writing, I didn't like reading, and so now I do those things. But it took many fucking years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't start reading till I was like 25. Right? I didn't start writing till I was like 26, 27. Writing for myself, not even talking about school. But like journaling, right? I didn't start journaling till I was like 26, 27, almost 27. And I didn't start making video content till I was fucking 28. Speaking wise, right? Exactly. Yeah, a vagina is everywhere we go. Exactly. Real love isn't, and neither is a connection, and you ain't gonna build a connection through porn. And a lot of the time, a lot of men waste their time chasing women rather than chasing their dream and their passions and their vision, which is what will really attract the women. Because once you develop yourself as a man, once you develop all those qualities and all those capacities that will be necessary to, maintain, sustain, and create a family that can thrive, not just survive in these times, that kind of energy, you become like a magnet for all kind of women, good and bad. But because you work on developing your mindset, you know what I'm saying, you work on developing yourself as a man, as a complete man, you will not be lacking in those capacity to be able to identify good quality women versus, just nothing, right? Just a shell of a woman, a shell of a female, but not a real woman, right? So, and that will also save you from a lot of unnecessary heartache, right? From having children with women that are going to, abuse their power, financially, that they may gain from you, or to abuse you psychologically by playing mind games with you and with their children, with the children that you have with these women. So we have to be mindful, because a lot of the wombs that we may plant our seed in, or that we may think are fertile soil for us to plant our seed in, are not fucking fertile. They just look fertile, but underneath they're polluted. These fields, these soils, they're worthless. You know what I'm saying? They're worthless. They are destructive. They are polluted, and they will pollute our seed as well. No, absolutely, man. That's something that I sometimes say. Like, we need to be selfish. We need to be selfish, and at the same time selfless. We need to know how and when to be selfish with ourselves and our time, so that we can, better be capable of being selfless in a truly selfless way that isn't selfish, right? That where we're not doing anything with any hidden intentions, where we're actually being brutally honest, you know what I'm saying? And we're not coming into any relationship, and we're not dealing with anybody with any hidden agenda. So if it takes us actually filling our cup up first before we gain the capacity to go and pour into somebody else's cup that might be a little empty. Like, if we don't go up the mountain and spend a few days up in the mountain by ourselves, we won't know what it is to truly be alone, and we won't know how to value our solitude, and we just won't know how to value anything. So it takes us being selfish, you know what I'm saying, in order to be selfless, and in order to be able to have a relationship with somebody else. Like, we got to learn how to love ourselves in order to be able to love somebody else. If you don't fucking love yourself, if you don't appreciate yourself, if you don't respect, validate, and encourage your own self, but you are getting with somebody and expecting these individuals to do that for you, but you can't even do it for yourself or them, that's pretty fucking selfish right there in itself. And that's a problem with a lot of male and females today. Mostly a lot of men, right? Like, men just don't want to feel lonely. The same thing with women, right? But we have to work as men, and if we don't work, then we get taken advantage of for the fact that we're not doing the work. And these females is cold, bro. They don't give a fuck. If they don't want to fuck you, but they can use you, they're gonna do it. And they're gonna have you drive them to the dude that they will fuck. Tú me dejas saber what time. I'll come through, bro. But yeah, so as a man, you got to do your work. You got to do your due diligence. Females mature a lot sooner than us men. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can put a 13-year-old boy next to a 13-year-old girl, and that 13-year-old boy will look like he's 9 years old, while the 13-year-old girl will look like she's 16. So you get what I'm saying? And that's how it is. Because women are designed by nature to be procreating a lot sooner than men. You know what I'm saying? Like, a man shouldn't be procreating until he is fully mature as a man. You know what I'm saying? Until he knows himself as a man. Oh yeah. Woo! Tú me tiras, yo, Friday. I'll keep that in mind. I'm here, bro. I'm here. I'm trying to get some letters of recommendation right now. So I gotta contact 3 professors from John Jay, so that they could each write me a letter, so that I really want to do this, bro. I was just listening to somebody. I don't even know where it was. I don't know if and they were talking about how somebody commented about them having like a bachelor's degree, and oh yeah, it was like somebody that was successful, dude, became a millionaire or whatever, and he was like, oh, you became rich after you went to one seminar. I have a bachelor's degree, but you're fucking broke. Fuck out of here, bro. And it's funny because I want to get my master's, I want to get my PhD, but I don't want to get it for like any, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to get it for like any, like, work wise. Like, I would like to do some like professor stuff for a little bit, but not like I need it, but because I want to do it, right? Just so that I can have the opportunity to talk to other students and share my philosophy with some students, right? And have that influence. Like that's the only reason I learn. Like, you know, I don't learn for this idea of like a sense of superiority. I really learn because I like to teach what I learn, and I like to apply what I learn as well. I love to apply what I learn, right? Like I learned how to I had a coward within me. I learned martial arts. And then once I learned, I was like, yo, I'm ready to fight, coach. And he put me in the ring, and I just went in there and I beat up the coward in me, and you know, and I applied it, right? So I learned, but what I was learning, eventually I wanted to apply it someday, and I got the opportunity to do that. And through that, you know, I developed a great amount of self-confidence in myself, a great amount of self-love for myself. I know, right? And I even learned how to appreciate getting hit. Can you imagine that? My fifth fight, I was actually saying thank you as I was getting like hit. Like every time I'd get hit, I'd be like thank you, and I'd return a hit within seconds, within milliseconds of getting hit. I'd be like, ooh, I like that, thank you, pop, 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 and hit him. You know what I'm saying? So no, I get that, man. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to college. I don't want to go to college for knowledge wise. I just want to get the certificates. You know what I'm saying? It's like you just go into the matrix to do a few things so that, you know, you can have greater access to different platforms because of the things that you did in the matrix. Right? So I can continue to do what I'm doing and, you know, still become very successful doing it. But I want these things, right? Because I never thought that I could do these things. Like I got left back twice in grammar school. I basically got left back twice in high school, and I didn't start doing college until I got into out of the military, and I started forcing myself through it, right? So now I no longer have to force myself. Now I can not only do it for the pyramid, you know, going up the pyramid on the societal level, right? The Masonic Pyramid, it's the same thing, but a lot of people don't understand it. But just like you going through secret societies, you go up a pyramid, right? First degree, second degree, third degree. You know what I'm saying? 33rd degree of masonry. It's the same thing on the civilian sector. The civilian sector also has their pyramid, but it's also the same on the spiritual level, right? You can reach these degrees of consciousness on the spiritual, on the physical, and in secret societies. So, you know, what I'm doing is I'm doing my own version of it, right? I know it doesn't make a difference, bro, but you don't listen. When I'm talking to somebody like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, or 7 years from now, and I'm talking to somebody and I start talking something that they don't agree with and they dare call me Sosa, I can be like, excuse me. You know, I could just be a little uppity prick and I could be like, excuse me, it's Dr. Sosa. You know how, that's a burn, bro. What's that? Burn. You could burn a motherfucker with that. So you know what I'm saying? So these Caligula individuals, they don't like listening to people that, you know, that speak like us, right? That just are very blunt, speak their mind, use logic and reason rather than just emotions and feelings to bring the truth to light. And, you know, I know it doesn't matter, but it's just something for me and something that I can throw in these motherfuckers' face too. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way that I see it. That's the only. Plus, it's psychology. Like I like psychology, and I would like the collegiate understanding the collegiate, education on psychology. Like I read Carl Jung. I've read a few books by Carl Jung, and one of them actually helped me a lot. You know what I'm saying? Carl Jung, Knowing Your Shadow, the dark side of the human psyche. Like that book was extremely impactful to me. I read the whole thing, and you know what I'm saying? That was the first time that I ever had like an actual projection experience where I felt like I actually left my body. Mind you, the book doesn't talk anything about it. I just was reading. I was just watching videos on YouTube about it as I was finishing this book. And, towards the end of the book, I kind of like just practiced the astral projection, and, I took off that book bag that, Carl Jung talks about us carrying our whole life, this book bag of traumas, of doubts, of insecurities, of the opinions of other people, of people telling us, oh, you look crazy, you look weird, stop doing that, you should be more, you know what I'm saying? And it just hides who we truly are behind this mask that we put on to kind of please everybody else, to kind of live the image of what we think other people want us to be. So, reading that book, it revealed many things, and one day it was just like, I had this crazy fucking out-of-body experience, and I never had that ever again. That was the only one time that I ever had an experience like that, and it was self-induced, and I've never been able to do it again. But it was because this individual in psychology, right? I like Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson is another individual that studies psychology, and he's very philosophical. I could easily go and get a PhD in philosophy, but I believe I'm already a pretty well off. I'm pretty sure I can teach philosophy with what I already know. You know what I'm saying? I took a philosophy class, and I felt more like a teacher than the professor himself, because the professor himself couldn't even explain the theories that he was trying to explain to the class. So, but psychology is something that I truly am interested in. The study of the mind, and it is something that I myself am studying with myself right now. And have always, and have been for the past, five or so years. So, getting a PhD is a challenging goal. It's what I would consider a big goal. If 18-year-old me looked at me now considering getting a PhD, you know what I'm saying? 18-year-old me would probably be like, nah, that's impossible. You can't do that, Sosa. You're too stupid. That sounds like a good book. The Origin of Consciousness and the Breakdown of the Bicameral Mind. 1976 book by Princeton Psychology. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So psychohistorian and consciousness theorist Julian Jaynes. Damn, I can't look that up. I can write that down though. But yeah, man, like, psychology is a very interesting field of study, and it touches a lot on, like, if you have the mindset, it touches a lot on metaphysics, you know what I'm saying, on the power of attraction, the power of positive thinking, you know what I'm saying, gratitude. This is something that I've been saying. I don't know if I heard it or I just came up with it, but gratitude molds your attitude. Your attitude is what's reflected in your personality, and your personality is how you interact with your reality. And that personality and that attitude is what functions as a chisel to mold the character. You know what I'm saying? And the character is what you will be remembered for. Not your personality, but your character, who you are, your morals, your ethics, your principles, your core values. Those things that, you truly represented everywhere you went, that you were recognized for. So, and psychology promotes that, that gratitude, i.e. counting your blessings, you know what I'm saying, showing appreciation for the little things is very powerful in creating a positive mindset, especially in individuals that are depressed, and that are, especially the motherfuckers that are depressed. Because most of the people that are depressed, they are in an ungrateful fucking mindset. So, what is that? The Origin of Consciousness. Julian James. It's crazy, yo. Since I started journaling, I've filled up almost 17 or 18 journals, man. Maybe more. But, yo, it's been a great evening. Yeah, Friday. I'll see you Friday, bro. Hey, family, whoever sees this, man, at whatever point in time you catch this, yo, power to you. YouTube, please do not remove my video. I apologize if I said anything that goes against your guidelines. Other than that, ain't nothing but love, peace, and love. One.